pretty good job for my age. Um,
So you got everything you need here, basically.
what?
You got everything you need right now.
Right now, I'm at a pretty good spot, I would say.
Okay, so one of the guests wants to introduce himself. Not yet. Maybe this is just guest.
Don't be shy.
So we'll start, guys, just like 6:05, more or less. That's our usual kind of 5 minutes backup time, let's say, for anyone to join, and then we'll just have a short discussion. Like, really, don't be stressed about it. We are here just to find out as much as we can, and to create some, let's say, solutions for the problem, for the questions that are there. Hopefully we can reach some conclusions. Let's say that's the goal, to reach some conclusions out of this conversation. But don't worry, and also don't stress to ask yourself questions, yeah, or even as well, maybe to us, but maybe to each other more. We are just here to ask you more the questions and lead the conversation. But that's it.
Just feel really, really casual. It's like a really relaxed talk. It shouldn't be something full of let's say anxiety or anything else. It's just, let's say, like a talk between some people who met on the street, and I don't know, they're casually approaching some say common points they like to discuss about, so that's great. Yeah, hydrate yourself before, that's important. So that's great.
How many people do usually join?
For now, we got just one event, so we can not say any numbers yet, because we are beginning.
Yeah, this is the second one, representing the second cycle, which is next month, and yeah, we're still working on numbers right now. So
actually, at the moment I asked, I thought like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked this, because it's like, it's like kind of stressful.
No. I mean, with Irina, we got experience of around 100 events in total that we've produced with architects all around, and sometimes we get 0 guests. Yeah. And sometimes the successful one we get 600-700, but it varies from this to minimum to maximum, but you never can expect basically. There are so many different factors affecting this that sometimes it's just a time, sometimes it's just a day or anything, and that's why you need to experiment with this, and then we can find out. Okay, I think we got our guest speakers over here as well. If you girls would like to introduce yourself, that'd be wonderful.
Vivian, and the other one should be Jessie.
Wonderful, nice to meet you.
And also, we should be here with one of our friends, Cherry, and we're here for the speech, I guess. But I think me and Jessie will join this meeting for around 20 minutes, because it's around 1 a.m. here in Hong Kong, and we have we have to go to work tomorrow, so
we totally understand, and we are sorry for this time.
But that's still
okay.
Great. You could join, and
no, thank you for inviting. It's very interesting.
Thank you for joining at least for 20 minutes. That's amazing. Yeah,
we'll try to soak as a sponge, you know, your answers to the questions. So
Okay,
we'll try to get as much as possible.
sure.
So that's wonderful. We'll start in around 5 minutes.
Okay.
yeah, no worries. We'll just wait a bit for the rest of the guys to join, and then I think
see.
we're good to go. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we get home.
Yeah.
So, girls, you are in Hong Kong, yes?
Yes.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Because I'm still in my process of year out, and Jesse and Cherry are doing their master's year 1 this year.
Okay.
Nice. Where is your year out?
I did my year out in a local commercial firm, and I think Jesse and Cherry does the same too. I think Jessie is too tired to speak because she's like currently enrolled in the same like in our previous school for a master's, and she just slept for like 4 hours yesterday.
It's something really common. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So submissions are coming.
Yeah. Where are you guys though?
I'm in the UK, in Coventry.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm in Barcelona.
That's
And
very
you guys?
interesting.
Doruk?
No, I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark.
I'm from Uruguay, a small country in South America.
I see. Very nice hair.
Thank you. That's it.
So cute.
No, just in case Doruk and Facundo are our guests as well, yeah? Just to let you know.
They're other guest speakers.
To whom you can ask questions to.
So, Alex, are you living in Barcelona, or are you also how do you say, from Spain? Spain,
No,
please.
I'm from Poland, but I studied in UK at the same university as Irina. This is where we met, but I went on year out to Barcelona. I fell in love and basically stayed.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
hoping for someone to also speak Spanish in case I had some difficulties.
You guys.
talking.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
Spanish slowly.
Oh,
Cherry.
Cherry joined. Cherry joined. Let me see. Hi, Cherry. Okay.
Just in case, girls, we don't see your cameras, but we totally understand if it's too dark or something. Like, don't worry about it. Because for me, it's loading. I don't know if for you the same.
I see everyone's with the camera on for now, but
Okay, so maybe that's just my problem.
no, it's alright. I think everybody should give a try to their microphones, please, just to make sure that you can speak, because you have to. Oh, that would be great, actually, if you'll respond to our question and if you enter the debate. So can you at least say hello, just to make sure that your mics are working fine before we start? Hello. Thank you.
Hola.
Who else? Yes, speaker. Hola, hola, hola.
Hello.
Hola.
Sorry.
Who else?
And Sherry, I think, is joining.
Yeah, I see. I think someone tried to speak like the IU, but I couldn't hear. Okay, good. So that was a mic check.
It's about your experience working year out in Barcelona.
It's not year out now. Oh, kind of, because I finished bachelor and now I'm
Yeah,
currently working. Amazing.
it
So I
was
recommend.
amazing.
It is amazing still, and I encourage everyone. Definitely.
You make the decision of working outside of your country.
The situation in Poland is quite difficult, but right now in terms of architecture, in very short, just in 10 seconds, basically, government now introduces the policy that allows people after 4 years of high school to design buildings below 1,000 meters squared. So imagine what happens that, let's say, a high school student can design a building. So without any consideration of course, of architecture, let's say deeper architecture, if we may call it. So I'm a little bit against it, but
Oh, really?
yeah, that may be kind of a part of a different discussion one day.
Considering that people were studying like 7 years maybe in the past, and now it's just at
Yeah,
least
it wasn't very fair, I guess.
no. And it's one
But
of the most
why do they have this policy though? Is it because there's a shortage in like architecture professional people, or
It's still it's not yet there, but they want to implement it. Now, of course, architects, is a huge protest about it.
reasonable?
But yeah, why? I think economical aspects, just to put money into residential buildings or any buildings,
Hmm.
just to save the
Did
economy.
you? Oh, that's true.
Mm.
Did you go for a commercial firm or did you go for a small designer firm? I guess is it called designer firm? Like more small scale firm for your year out experience.
It wasn't a big of choice. That's the problem
Uh-huh.
with the CV send. But I'm happy. I'm happy where I ended, and that's, I think, the most important thing about this.
Yes, I think that's very important.
But if we may, we'll start now, guys. So Irina, give a small introduction, and I will continue then.
second.
Guys, if you don't mind, the event will be recorded, so we can share it later. And do you
Yeah.
all agree? Yeah.
And
Okay.
what
Just
are
in case,
we
let
are
us know.
doing? We are extracting some codes, and maybe it would be nice to say we're promoting that as well. So now, yeah. So welcome everyone who joined. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation for our second talk with non-architecture winners. Yeah, today it's about next move, and I want to make a short introduction on what we had in our first talk, because some of our participation, I think it was AFA Architecture Studio. They say it's something really, really nice, and we are thinking to stick to that in a way for our like personal experiences, and hope that will help you as well. They say that one competition may bring you what 1 year of architecture architecture student school may bring to a student, and that's probably very important. And another thing, just to, let's say, summarize our last talk subject is the fact that it's essential to maintain a creative capacity by participating and studying different competitions. And that is an amazing insight and maybe answer to the questions on why are people participating to the competition. But now I'll let Alex speak more about today's topic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Guys, our initial idea with the first event, as Irina mentioned, was to talk about a little what's happening before the competition, of how we enter, what is our motivations to actually participate in them. So that's why this guest, I think, answer us correctly to this question. Today we would like to focus a little bit on after effects of the competition, when we want to talk about the benefits of participations in, for example, non-architecture. And as we may know that either these are practical, such as fostering hard and soft skills, or theoretical, that are based more on ideological reflections. And as we know, all of you delved in details with all of your entries. We know that we are capable of shaping kind of new images of the world. Is it a new Hong Kong drone port, or is it a new space shuttle? And then that you did, you create some idea, and you may stick to it or develop it further. And that's the kind of the main question that we would like to answer right now, or not right now, but at the end of this session, that we can come up together, is how we could actually create an impact with these ideas, how we could create an impact on the reality that we are in a short or long term. And we think that it might be a right question to debate about, but as I said, we don't want to answer it right now, but at the end of the session, and we will try to get into that throughout the session. However, guys, if you don't mind, it would be wonderful if you could introduce yourselves first, who you are, where are you from, maybe also what non-architecture competitions you won, because this event is also about you as a winners. So, Doruk, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Doruk, and I'm from Turkey. Now I live in Copenhagen. I was doing my master's here. Now in the summer I graduated, but I'm still here. And for should I go for like my thoughts as well, or?
Yes, of course. Shortly about what you think is the most important to let us know about yourself. So yeah, feel free.
No, I mean like about the competition. So I like in the past I participated in few non-architecture competitions, and what I like most about them was the like there was no boundaries about anything. There are no limitations, that you can just like use your imagination as much as you want, and then like, come up with a design that is just based on your like imagination. And I think it was very important. And when I saw that spacecraft competition, I was like very interested, like from the beginning, because it was something that you probably will never get to do in your like in our profession. Maybe some of us will, but yeah, I mean it's like a long shot. And it's also kind of like gives you this how to say, like you have to blend your imagination with the technical things that you like, and so you are able to come up with like a design that is that makes sense in a way. So I think one of the most important things about these competitions is like it makes you exercise your brain, your imagination in a very different way from what you learned during your bachelor's or when you're working professionally. Like you can do the things that you will never be able to do in a way, and like you get to combine it with with your knowledge about like this technical stuff that we all like learning in our schools or in, like professional life. And I was like, I thought that like it's very like it really inspires me in a way, like this this competition series of non-architecture, because sometimes you get a little bit frustrated when you're in like in professional sphere or when you're in school. Like there are a lot of technicalities. Of course, they are part of our profession, but sometimes like those in real life they get like in front of your design. So I think one of the most important things is that this series, the competition series, is like the opposite of it, and I really appreciate that. Like to have a chance to do some kind of like exercise for us, and for me especially, like it was a period that I was doing my master's work in Morocco, and I was there, and we were building some stuff that we will test. So it was a very kind of scientific project, scientific architecture project, and I learned that I won this competition during this period. And when I was doing that, it was like during my exams, and it was also for the stuff that we will test in Morocco. So in a way, I was doing something very technical, very real, very hands-on, and like you have to take care of about every detail, and at some point you have to sacrifice a lot of from your design because you have to do something that works. And since we have to do it by our own hands, it's like sometimes you just get like, okay, maybe it doesn't have to look like this. I can do like this because it's easier. Like you sacrifice a lot of stuff from the visual effects that you want. And it was actually very nice for me to do some competition like this during a period like that, because then I was having one side of me, which is like flying away, like in terms of imagination with this competition. And it was really satisfying me because that's, as a like architect, I really like those kind of stuff, like kind of like these designs that are like exercising your brain in like different realms. And like one side of me was doing this very real hands-on thing, so it was like kind of like fulfilling me in a different way, and which was very helpful in all of the like in both of the designs that I was doing at the same time during this competition period.
We,
And
we are happy to hear that your kind of motivation behind them, behind the project, and the personal, involvement into this, because that's says why you also deserved the award. I think that's a good thing about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your feelings.
no worries.
And
The
we
next.
got also DNA lab, yes, over here,
Yes, please.
I think.
Guys, can you hear us?
Okay. Guys from Hong Kong, would you like to introduce yourselves?
So we're
Hi.
classmates. Well, we're
Okay.
in bachelor, and we decided to join because we're all working in commercial firms, and we think it would be interesting for us to do something that's more related or more similar to the projects that we did when we're doing bachelor. Because usually when we're doing bachelor, we could do more imaginative stuff. Not really imaginative, but it allows you to do more design kind of stuff, and you can ponder more on the concepts of what architecture is and how you can do it, achieve that through sorry achieve that um through design. Sorry, I'm really sleepy. I have a through the different proposals, and it also like helps us to it helps us to get more excitement, I guess, in the life of working from in a commercial firm. And I guess Jesse can tell you more on the topic.
So the reason we decided to join the competition is because we haven't dealt with the scale of the street. Because previously in bachelor degree study of the architecture, we usually we deal with the building scale, but we never, because our topic is about street of tomorrow. So I think it's bit interesting that we are playing this kind of the scale. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. What about the other member of your group? Is are they your classmates as well? Are you all like in the same?
Okay.
Okay.
I think she might be in the toilet or something.
Okay. Don't worry, she will join us in a moment.
Okay.
And Facundo, what about you?
Hi everyone. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, and I want to apologize for my English, which is a bit rusty at the time. I haven't had a proper English conversation in a while. And with that being said, I'm Facundo Irasusta, and I'm here as one of the winners of the Hong Kong Drone Port competition. I'm 23 years old and from a small country from South America called Uruguay. And I'm currently at my 5th year of architecture university, and hopefully I'll have my architect title by the end of next year. Despite being at my 5th year at university, I feel like I'm still finding my way of making and designing architecture, which in a way I suppose one never fully finds the way, but more of a constantly changing learning and design process. But of course, at my age, I have some topics and themes that really move me and interest me, which many of them were applied on the competition on the drum port. I don't know. Is that okay for an introduction?
Of course, Facundo, of
That's
course.
amazing.
Perfect. No, guys, with this kind of in mind, like, okay, so how do you use this, your ideas that you developed, because you actually spent some time on them, yeah? You actually discovered, you explored the questions that were given to you by, in this case, non-architecture. But although these were very conceptual, yeah, sometimes very abstract, sometimes, as Doruk said, sometimes impossible to imagine to design in real life. Have you used those ideas actually in, let's say, in practice, or maybe in your personal projects that you develop, or maybe projects as well in the university? Is it something that actually gave you something except of the price that was there? Girls from Hong Kong, would you like to answer maybe before you go to sleep?
Oh, so I think the interesting of joining this competition was first we are arguing whether we should still click on the site first, because there's nothing there's not any inspiration on the sites. But suddenly when I was checking the cat map of the our sites, and I found that there is a rubbish station there, and related to the chain of the very sustainability. So I'm thinking whether we could relate it to that. which is the circular economy. So then the idea was pop up that whether we can do a recycling back alley or back street for people uh to to adapt the ideology to make the community to be more recyclable. So that's basically of our.
But have you started thinking about this place in a different way at the end? Now, when you because now when you go there, let's say when you walk nearby, has it changed your perspective now?
Yeah, I think so because currently I'm working on my studio project. It's also about recycling and regenerative. So actually, um, after that competition is quite influential. I'm still adapting my the ideology to further develop that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Someone else who would like to add also to this?
Agree
How?
with everything Jessie has said.
Okay.
Because we came from very similar background and we have very similar approach on the project. I have to speak, yeah.
Oh, that's
But
great.
do you also discuss this? Have you discussed this project after the competition, after you win, for example?
Yes, because there are also a few of our friends who's interested in the topic, and we did discuss a bit on the possibilities of actually transferring the very conceptual idea into actual architectural projects that could be visualized via our studio projects or by other ways. So yes, I do think it brings up new possibility to our design and also the way that we think.
And what was the, let's say, the experience by joining as a team? Because someone can join single and you joined as a team. So what was the experience for you as a team?
Well, because I believe designs could be better achieved if there are a lot of discussion involved because people have different opinions sometimes. And sometimes you will realize that there are defects in your own way of thinking or your logical chain that your teammates could help you with that. And also, like division of labor will make it easier for you to achieve a more desirable outcome eventually. So I think it's a very good experience.
That's amazing. I'm really happy to hear
Wonderful.
that. Yeah.
And from different, a little bit farther in space, let's say, answer, Daruk, how you actually use this knowledge of knowing how to design a space shuttle, because that's something completely abstract.
I mean, design-wise, no, but like I can maybe talk about the tools like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, since it was something that I never designed before, like I had an image in my mind and I was kind of like pushing my own limits to come up with the axonometric drawing that I want. So I can say that to achieve that, I got to like self-teach some stuff, like in terms of the graphics and stuff. So maybe like those tools that like kind of like push me to do that drawing like helped me a lot with my thesis project, for example. So yeah.
And
But you base this, your ideas or your first image that you just said, if I'm not wrong, the first image that you got in your mind, yeah, of the space shuttle, you base on the movies or you base on some research actually?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a combination, like a combination of very different movies and like most movies. But yeah, it was kind of like taking little parts of each and then kind of combining it into
All
something.
those together, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for your insight. And Facundo, how was the experience for you as entering the competition by yourself? And would you like to enter with the team, let's say, and how it impacted you?
Well, the Hong Kong Drone competition actually was my second competition that I applied, and the second from non-architecture. The first one I worked with my workshop partner at university, and the second one I did it alone. But I think that both options have their good and bad things. And the second one, as I was designing and working alone, I had like there were many instances in which I show it to my friends from university or my family or my girlfriend, or it also have like a very a good variety of opinions about a design that I think we don't only have to go for the architect point of view or the designer point of view, because maybe your mom, which is, I don't know, accountant, has a view of the project that an architect would never have told you. But all in all, I think that's my answer.
Oh, thank you. And how? So this is in a way. How did your mind changed after the participation? Is that right? And how did I get it? Is that one of the things that changed in your head after you participated in these competitions?
Yes, of course. I think that as I think it was Minaku said, it's paramount to have a diverse group of people working on something. It can be the Hong Kong Drone competition, or designing a house, or designing a car. I think that each member can, from its own point of view, can give something very positive to the final design or final object that you're going for.
Perfect. Thank you.
And with this in mind, would you like to do something more with this kind of winning entries? Would you like them not to be forgotten, let's say? I think that's the also the big question that we all try to do. Every competition tries to do, to conserve, let's say, these ideas that are over there. And sometimes we may know that, I don't know, second or third even place might be very very interesting too. So what we could do with these entries that you present, that you win, or is it just something that is hidden to the cupboard and never taken out again, or actually we may use it in any possible way? Have you ever thought about this maybe before?
Personally, for my own, I want like to have it like printed, or wait for the next book that you guys are going to in some time get out. But I think that like the essence of all these competitions should transcend in time, because it's a thriving moment for the one that is competing, and also from the viewers. It's like it's like a platform with an opportunity to work on present and future topics that we as designers should be thinking of and should be applying and working on them and making them better and like all in all to, let's say, in a way make a better place or a better earth by making better products, better places to live, better anything.
So you are constantly thinking about, let's say, recycling or upgrading those ideas and reusing them in a different context, maybe.
Yes, of course. Like in university, for example, this year, one of my projects in a workshop was to design like a rural house prototype, a sort of off-the-grid rural housing prototype. And there, of course, is there are some ideas connected, like with the drone port ideas that I use, for example, that to sum them up, they're like sustainability and reducing human negative impact on Earth. There are things that should be in every designer's mind or way of thinking.
That's great. Thank you.
I think this is a really good point. I like this one thing that you said. The essence should transcend in time, and I think that's a really positive. Okay, but how to take this essence and actually how to transcend this in time? Because this is my question. Because okay, we can produce, we can win, we can have this award, we can be given this award, but how to keep this idea going? And or how to keep for everyone else that actually it can be developed. We know that architecture as a final product and a resolved product, which is a building standing, that's a very good way to do, of course. But is there any way, or maybe there is no way that we could use the entries to transcend in time to the developer, to encourage to develop the particular idea? Do you understand my questions, guys? This is the question from all of us, yeah?
I don't know about the entries, but I think this kind of competitions should be always available for everyone to explore and to take their creativity and design process like to the limits or to the next level. So that's one way of keeping that essence alive. More competitions.
More competitions. Okay.
And what do you think about it, Doro?
Also, I was thinking when you asked the question, like since when you submit the project, you're only allowed to give some hashtag, just like some ideas, but you have to, how to say, like tell everything with your drawing. So there are like no text, just like hashtags and stuff. Maybe there can be like a way, like after, like for example, now like we won, and then maybe there can be a kind of platform where people get to talk about like their designs, because somehow, like some way, most of the designs can also be like very open to like comment on, like someone's perception is like, everyone's perception is different, so maybe there can be like a platform which also people can talk about what they thought and like what they are trying to tell to people who are like seeing that project, and how was the thinking process behind it. And because most of the winners, when you see the projects, like you're very free to how to say, very free to understand it on your own, because like there are just very short introductions about them. So maybe that can be a way. I don't know.
I think this is what we are trying to do a little bit over here. So you could actually speak, because this is also really important for us, that to give you a space to actually talk, because we know that it's not 100 words that you can describe your project, and it's never like this.
Yeah, would you be, for example, happy that your project will be exhibited and it will be, for example, a subject of a debate between the people to see how they can interpret it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea, because like in those kind of discussions, you also see something that the designer didn't like see in the design, like that, like potentials of the design that are perceived from other people, and some ideas maybe about like that's a long shot, but some of the ideas can actually really go to somewhere, like even if it's like a spacecraft design. Like those concepts and stuff, like they already exist, yes, but like I don't know, you never know where the good ideas come from. So I think that would be a very nice
I think that's great, and that's amazing to be open to that.
Hidden treasures from the creator. One of the comments is, and I think it's also a good one.
Yeah,
I think we need to introduce someone, and I think it's a DNA lab.
Hey guys.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Because we see you here.
Hiya. Hi. Do you hear us? I think you're muted. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Hi guys.
Hi.
Oh, great.
Hi.
How are you? That's the first question.
Yeah.
I'm fine and a little bit tired because it's 2 a.m. in Taiwan.
We know, we are so sorry about this.
Thank you for making the effort to join us. That's amazing.
But fortunately, hopefully you can get a little bit into the conversation for some time. And what we talked about, and what we actually want to involve you is basically how we can support the winners after the competition. I mean, it might be a difficult question for the time, just in case, take your time. But Doruk, just to ask you one follow-up question to what you've just said, like, have you used the method of the design process, that's how you develop the space shuttle, into real life projects? I mean, real life in terms of university-wise.
Yes, I mean, do you mean in like to produce something, or like the idea?
Exactly.
Did you upcycle, recycle the idea, upgrade it?
I mean, actually, what I did was I was taking some stuff from my, like recycling stuff from my old projects that are kind of like this, has this futuristic sense, then combining it with new stuff. But this technique of like trying to blend these different stuff together, I think that's the thing that I use mostly for my like next projects, like after the competition entry, like especially the one that I was doing during that time. I mean, design wise, I don't know like I don't know how much to like is possible to like reflect in your own like schoolwork or stuff because it was spacecrafting. But yeah, the techniques and everything, it really gave me a little bit of upper hand in the design tool that I was using at that moment. So it kind of enhanced my helped me enhance my abilities in that sense.
Okay, thank you. And you guys, the NA lab, like, does the competition influence your general design process of how you develop projects on your own? Do you hear me well? Yeah.
Because I think our project is some kind of conceptual, can't really reflect to using our reality works. But I think we have the similar area between Taiwan and Hong Kong. So our city become more high density. So same as our design, we try to design in more elevated and try to introduce something above our buildings. And after the design, we have to keep working on it.
And I think that that's the important thing about this, that you kept working on this. And in what way you kept working, because this is interesting.
And how would be that last bit that would make your project to transform it in something working in reality? What do you think? In your case, because you've mentioned that it's very, very conceptual. So what's the last bit that would transform it into a real life working project? What do you think? Have you ever thought about that?
Big question.
First, I think, especially in our country, the drone port isn't so common to see in the city. But I think the design in the microwave to install into the city might be one of the choice that we could think about.
That's great.
I think these are kind of the important point, because even the curiosity, that in terms of cryptocurrencies, that the biggest amount of cryptocurrencies is used in Taiwan,
Yeah.
in the world, and the second is Nigeria. And sometimes these crazy ideas that are coming up all around us, you don't know where they come from. And that's an interesting part, and I think the competition allow for this, so actually allow us to develop them further to the moment that actually they become reality, maybe. If you agree with.
Actually, now it's work in process on a drone airport in Coventry in the UK. Yeah, they're working on that, so I'm really looking forward, and that's a really basic thing. And
So what would you like to see, maybe? Okay, as Doruk said, in terms of debate, so do you think that actually having a debate with just, let's say, the winners of the particular competition would be something uh, to go with, but don't you think at the same time that, okay, the people would be asking the questions, oh shit, why didn't I win? Or maybe that they wouldn't argue. What do you think about this?
Well,
Um, um, in our project, in our discussion between my teammates, we have implied some kind of social issue into this design. Kind of sensitive, but it's the way we try to reflect the reality problems, especially in Asia, in Taiwan, even in Hong Kong. And another also we provide a design for this drum port also, but I'm still wondering why do we win this award? And maybe can you guys give us some suggestion or how did you guys see our work? We would like to know.
You won. That's
No,
amazing.
I did. I understand why it won't, because you are exactly because you know analyze those issues, because you consider those issues, and I think that was a very strong part of it.
Yeah.
This human aspect, and exactly you solved some kind of problems, and I think that's what was important in my opinion, at least. But I was the jury, so you know I cannot say it.
Now that you mentioned that, I think that your work is kind of manifesto to attract someone's attention on the actual problem. And that's very important. So if you don't know why you won, well, you did it because you deserved it, and that's great. I think so. That's amazing. I think so.
And I think also, guys, this Discord, this is what we also try to do over here. That we actually want to encourage you, to engage with other users, with other participants, actually to talk about your entries,
Definitely see
and
that.
maybe to debate about. But yeah, Facundo, what do you think about this debate with, let's say, different winners, or maybe different honorable mentions?
I think it's great. It's 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 a way of knowing, having other opinions about what you did in the competition. It would also be great, like to let the, the attendees that came to the talk, like also to be part of it, like by having some questions written in the chat or something. But another thing that it's really good about this platform is that, for example, when I heard Doruk talk about movies, I instantly connected with him because I thought it was a bit weird that I like approached this competition from a movie or TV series point of view, not like the design process, but more like the language and the way of representing it and to transmit a message. Because besides all the research and the important topics that were pointed out in the competitions, like the brief of the competition was to make 3 drawings with total freedoms of scale and program. So, for example, in my case, I decided that the best way to transmit that message was like to tell a story with those 3 drawings. So each drawing had have a clear message to transmit. If I hadn't heard Doruk said what he said earlier about movies, it's like now I know that someone at least has a way of thinking similar to mine in the approach of the competition, for example.
That's great, and we are happy to hear that this is a way to connect and to find the people mind alike. So that's amazing. For like-minded people, that's amazing. Thank you.
So, guys, okay. So what I think we kind of a little bit talked, and what we maybe decided, that's to make these competitions and entries, so generally winning proposals, kind of more realities, to just continue talking about them. That would be something that make an impact on, let's say, reality. Yes, no.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Talking about it, putting it on social media, make it like, let's say, like a trending topic to be in the eyes of lots of people, and by being in the eyes of lots of people, to be in the eyes of lots of designers and architects and urbanists, or that in general.
But for how long? How long to talk about these projects?
These projects, in particular, I don't think that we should talk about them forever. But in the future, we will be talking about, I suppose, other entries from other competitions with this essence, like non-architecture essence that competitions have. Or at least that's my opinion.
I think that's great.
DNA? No? Thank you. Would you like to add something on the kind of final questions? Let's say, is how could we actually create this impact on reality with those entries or with those competitions? Odoruk as well, feel free. No, I think that we need to. Yes, sorry, Dean. No, I think we could talk about them and continue talking about them until the moment I think it becomes so obvious. I think I think the simplest idea that comes to my mind is climate change. Yeah, that at the beginning, okay, for 30 years no one cared. Yeah, but they talked about this. They bumped our doors, and actually almost everyone realized right now. I think so. Maybe talking about Hong Kong drone ports, or generally drone ports, talking about them to the moment that they become obvious solutions to some problem or to some question, might actually create an impact on this reality. So I think what you all, I think, said to debate about these competitions, to have them somewhere, and to come back to them, I think might be a really good point to make and remember. Yeah, I think with this in mind, that I hopefully we agree. I think we might end the session. because that was our goal, to get into some conclusion of the first and final questions, and that was given.
Yeah.
So guys, if you would like to add anything else to the goal that we achieved, that'd be wonderful. If not, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to join us today and for creating such wonderful discussions around your project and around the topics your projects are based on. And I think that's great. I'm really happy I met you, and I hope we learn something new from each other. You can connect with each other, and you can, I know.
I would just encourage to use Discord, I
Yeah.
think here. Because this is what we are trying to do over here, to ask some questions, to actually debate about this. And we got few actually recently in the last few weeks, so I definitely encourage. Would you like to add anything?
I just want to say, like, thank you for giving us a platform to express ourselves further, and very happy to meet all of you, and see you in next debates or talks, hopefully.
Hopefully you can join us in the future. Thank you so much, guys. It was a great pleasure, and hope to meet you one day, not only virtually but also on site.
But before that, hope to see you around on Discord, debating with each other.
Feel free to reach out to us if you are in Coventry, Barcelona, London, or whatever. Just call us, message. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll always show you around.
I'll be more than happy.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to everyone once again for winning the quiz.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.